Good morning! Welcome back to Cherryblossom Springs. We are starting our spring season today. It's been such a long time since I last filmed a video and I'm so excited to finally be able to share some more progress with you. It's going to be an exciting episode. We have this couple moving in, we have a wedding, we have a bachelorette party, and since there are no rules to those kinds of parties in The Sims 2, I'm making up my own rules, which should be fun. So we are at Jason's house, it's Monday morning and it's moving day. So let's invite Lorraine in, ask her to move in. Her stuff is already here in boxes, so we might as well. Of course, this season didn't start on Monday. It started on Sunday, because the first season was the fall season, which started on Monday. The day everyone moved in, we did the introductions and the meet and greet. I use a 5-day season, so fall was from Tuesday to Saturday, and of course we had the fall festival on that Saturday. We skipped winter because of, well, reasons. So spring started on Sunday, and as Jason and Lorraine start their day off with a cup of coffee, let's see what their Sundays looked like. Lorraine's day started just like any other day since she moved to this town. She's a very disciplined person and she got up early to do some early morning yoga. She usually does her yoga until 7 in the morning before she goes to the bakery to get some croissants. Today is Sunday, so the bakery is closed and she has to prepare her own breakfast. She has absolutely no cooking and cleaning skill, as do the other Sims in this town, basically because they can always just go out to get something easy to eat and socialize at the same time. So this will probably change when families start to form and they will have family meals, but so far it's mostly been a town of single adults and that's how it's been. So for now she's just going to get some leftovers that she's going to eat in her very basic home. So of course she is going to pack her boxes today and set her house for sale, because tomorrow morning she's moving in with Jason. And since it's Sunday morning and Lorraine is a very well liked social person and plays a big part in this community, she is not going to miss the Sunday sermon at the local church. So we will meet her at the church where all of the other Sims will be. At the church we can see that everyone is gathering for the sermon, and Reginald is greeting some of the visitors at the door. I think it gives the town a really nice community feel when there's a place where all of the Sims can gather on Sundays and see each other every week to socialize, but also to pick up some creativity skills, because during the sermon they will actually learn something. We see Jason and Ricky are also attending and they're both thinking about Lorraine, probably having very different thoughts about what it will be like to form a family together with her. So after the sermon it's time for lunch. And Ricky is in desperate need of some social and some fun. Jason's really got his mind on Lorraine all the time. Of course she is moving in today. No, you are not going to eat in the dining room. You're going to eat here with your son. So they will have a nice lunch together. Why are you not sitting in the chair? What's wrong with this chair? There's nothing wrong with the chair. Okay. So they are talking about Ricky going to college soon, and Jason is asking if he is prepared yet for his trip to the other city. Okay, for some reason he doesn't want to eat in this chair. Okay, so they can have their lunch right here. Jason is suggesting that they go over to the community center later this afternoon when they both finish the work that they have to do first. They've actually been going to the community center very frequently lately to play darts together. Since they found out that they both like the same games, they've actually started bonding a little bit more. Of course Lorraine played a big role in that. She saw that both Jason and Ricky came in very frequently to the community center, but separately. And they both played the same games, so she arranged for them to be there at the same time. And if Jason only knew that she was behind that, he would be very, very grateful. So Ricky is going to college in just a few days. I think he is leaving for college on Wednesday, so that will give him just a few days with Lorraine in the same household to get to know her a little bit better and in a different setting than at the community center. And Jason is a newspaper reporter, so he is going to work on some articles. He still needs to improve some skills, and yeah, that's how he's going to spend his afternoon until they go to the community center. And I think Jason is really enjoying his new office. Or at least I am playing this household. It's still somewhat of a starter home with not too much clutter laying around, and it will give them a chance to fill up the home with personal items as they live here and probably raise children here. But it's a good starting point, and it looks like it matches Jason's style. And Lorraine can just move right in here and add some personal touches to the living room later. Now moving over to Ricky, he is in his last days as a teen and we are going to send him off to college in the next season. Because I want him to be a teen in this neighborhood when we play the other households. But technically he is going to college on Wednesday, one day before the Spring Festival on Thursday. So both he and Lizzie will not be there. He's doing really well in school and he has the want to gain some skills, so that's why he is studying right now. Gaining skills in this neighborhood takes a lot of time, which feels so much more realistic than how I used to play. For example, maxing out all 7 skills in one sim's lifetime has become technically impossible. Even with community skilling mod, they have to spend a lot of hours before they actually gain a skill point, and I really like it this way. I've been doing some calculations on a system to keep some kind of measurement of how they are doing in life. For example, I want them to have a certain amount of skill points before they reach the young adult age and go to college, because otherwise graduating college is going to be nearly impossible. It also means that when choosing a major, they really have to take into account the skills that they already have, because otherwise they won't have enough time during college to learn all the new skills that they don't have yet. So there are going to be night classes and stuff, but still, making life decisions like that is really going to be something to think through in this way. Also, it makes it so that the aspiration benefit for knowledge sims is really the only way for knowledge sims to become more skilled than the other sims. Again, making it more realistic and giving myself some kind of challenge, which I always like. This also gives lots of possibilities to do things story-wise, like because family sims spend more time teaching their toddlers skills, they will actually become more successful in life or have better chances at being successful. So yeah, let's leave them to it. Around 4 they are going to visit the community center and have some fun because Ricky really needs it. And here we are later that day at the community center. We can see that Lorraine is working and there are already a few others here to meet, mingle and work on their hobbies. When Jason and Ricky walk in, Lorraine is of course going to greet them. The divorce from Sarah, Jason's ex-wife and Ricky's mother, has left Ricky a bit troubled, closed off and mad at the entire world, I suppose. He had a long period in time where he really didn't want to talk to anyone about anything. So moving to Cherryblossom Springs has sure been good for the both of them, and it has given them the chance to meet new people who have a positive influence on them, like Lorraine, or even Ricky's unexpected friendship with Jessica. And they will spend a few hours playing games and improving their relationship a bit further. They've already reached the point of being friends, and Jason is really happy that he has found a way to bond with his son. While Lorraine is doing some work in her office and Jason and Ricky are playing games, we have some time to look at the community center itself. The windows, paintings and some other items have gone missing during my custom content organizing project, and I am probably not going to add those back in anymore. Although I did really like those huge windows that gave a view on the surrounding forest and town hall. So it needs some work to get it back to what it looked like originally. Or maybe I'll try to make it better while in the process, but I will probably do that somewhere in between now and the next episode. So when you look at this building, the windows and the paintings that you see are not the ones that I've chosen. They work. You can look through them, but I don't like them in this building. So we are going to fix that soon. From the beginning of this town, this place was always supposed to be a community center. A place where everyone can meet and mingle and work on their hobbies. And Jonathan is so unimpressed with Rick's bass playing. That's funny. So yeah, they can work on their skills here, work on their hobbies. Of course they have to be selectable, which they are not for this video. And Rick, he actually has the lifetime wish to become a rock star, but he has no creativity skills, so everyone is booing him, and I'm not sure if he's going to be successful at it. We'll have to see. I also had a nice pathway outside leading to the bus stop right here, and I took out all of the terrains. So yeah, I'll have to fix that. Where did he go? Jonathan was here a minute ago, right? Oh, there he is. The job notice board is also gone. It is now a painting, so that doesn't make any sense. I will have to put that back. Jonathan does look good in his new athletic outfit. And in the future, I want this place to become more and more about sports-related facility. A place where Sims can gather or attend classes, sports classes, all kinds of different workout, yoga classes, stuff like that, to work on their body skill. The main purpose of this place will of course always be to bring a community together and to provide a place for people to go when they need it. But I want to add the body skill aspect to it in the form of Lorraine teaching all kinds of classes, so we'll be setting up a schedule for that for the next round. But first, let's skip back to Lorraine's home and see what she did on the evening before she moved in with Jason. So since it is Sunday night and Sunday is the day that all of my Sims in town do their taxes, she is going to pay her tax, and it is in the amount of 1200 simoleons that she is going to pay to the treasurer of this town, Eduardo Fortuna. So after a long day of working at the community center and packing her boxes, she is just going to grab some dinner and call it an early night. In Jason's home that evening, Jason is getting a cup of coffee to prepare for being productive for the rest of the evening, because he also needs to pay his taxes and he still has some articles to write. He has a few more hours to do all of that, so let's get started. So the amount of taxes that he needs to pay is 2800 simoleons, and I had to take out another loan for him because otherwise he wouldn't be able to pay. But with the money Lorraine is going to bring in from selling her house, they will have more than enough to pay everything back. So we are going to take a look at their finances at the end of this episode to see what their spending budget is going to look like after they've merged their homes together. He can just write one more article and then go to bed. Oh, he's going to drink more coffee. Fine, you'll have your coffee. Then write the article and then go to bed, because tomorrow morning is moving day. So let's skip back to that morning. As the new couple is finishing their coffee, Ricky is going off to school. Of course, he is happy for his father that he is getting married and moving in with Lorraine, but he has some mixed feelings about it. They still have a lot of work to do before the house will be ready for the wedding tomorrow, but luckily help is arriving, so it's going to be a busy day at the Hobson household today. Coming over to help are Valentina, working on the second part of her decorating project in this house. She is going to do the living room and the kitchen today. Then we have Natasha, who's busy outside planning and preparing everything for the wedding that is going to happen tomorrow. In addition to owning the bakery and of course being Lorraine's best friend, she wants to earn her money as a party planner in the future, and this is going to be her first party. She brought her famous cakes and has set up a cake tasting area outside. And we've had to call in Stanley because both of the laptops needed repairing, and without a working laptop, Jason can't work from home. And also the shower needs repairing. So that's why Stanley is here. Of course, we will pay him for his services after he is done. In the meantime, Jason and Lorraine are cleaning the house and unpacking all of the boxes from Lorraine's old house. They both are really happy to have found love again. Jason after his not so pleasant divorce with his ex-wife, and Lorraine of course at the beginning of moving to this town had some issues herself with letting anyone close after having her heart broken. But the moment Jason proposed to her at the fall festival, she knew the only way to be happy again is to jump in with both feet. And somehow in between all of this, Jason and Lorraine found the time to sneak off to the bedroom. So let's give them some privacy and skip to the next part, because we still have some wedding dress shopping to do, the bachelorette party, and first of course the cake tasting that Natasha arranged. So all they have to do now is taste the cake, which Natasha is serving. Don't put it on the floor. No, 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 no. Stanley, get out of the way. Get out of the way of the cake tasting. Okay, fine, fine. You can join in and ruin a perfectly romantic moment between this couple. Okay, so since Stanley is joining in, Natasha might as well just get some cake too. And it looks like Ricky is arriving home and even brought his friend Lizzie, so that's actually really perfect and they can both join in a cake tasting. So it looks like Stanley is asking Lorraine how life is treating her as an engaged woman. He himself is of course in a relationship with Robin and things between them progressed rather quickly. It all started with a booty call and before they knew it they were in a relationship. He is thinking about asking her to marry him, but he has some doubts about it. But he will have to think about that some other time because the most important thing on Lorraine's mind right now is her wedding dress. Lorraine is going to ask Natasha to form a group, casual group, for an outing. You are not going to work right now. And Natasha, you are not going to leave. So that didn't really go very smoothly. But we've managed to send both Lorraine and Natasha on an outing to the clothing store. Jonathan now also sells wedding dresses and I want to build a separate part in the store for that in the future, but for now it's just a separate rack between the other racks. So while Lorraine is trying on a few dresses, let's talk about the wedding. The kind of party that they're going to organize tomorrow is going to be very small because I think that fits their character and situation most in this case. We have a few more weddings coming up that are probably going to be bigger, but this is just a very small, cozy party with close friends only. Oh, this one looks really good on her, I think. So neither of them are the kind of person to throw a big wedding party, in my opinion. Lorraine always focuses more on the other person than on herself, and Jason is not someone to put the spotlight on himself either, I think. They would be much happier with just a small cozy wedding in their garden and having some dinner with their friends in their own living room and have some music, have some food, have some drinks, that kind of things. Oh, I kind of like this one too. I prefer the first one though, so she's probably going to buy the first one. Of course, Lorraine and Natasha both wouldn't be themselves if they didn't socialize a little bit with the other visitors of the store. So here we see Natasha talking to Rocco. And after Lorraine is done paying for her wedding dress, she is of course going to thank Jonathan and ask him how his business is doing and show a general interest in everything that he's doing here in this town. They go a long way back. They know each other from Simsville, and even though they were never really that close, they do know each other. And we see that Lorraine just fulfilled her want to have a good reputation, and I think that is perfectly fitting for her character to have a good reputation around town. Okay, so I think it's almost time to head home now, where the decoration of the living room and kitchen will be almost done, so they can all have a quick meal together before Lorraine is going to her bachelorette party at Daniel's bar. The bachelorette party is supposed to start in about an hour, and while Lorraine and Natasha were shopping for a wedding dress, Valentina finished her project of remodeling their living room and kitchen. Of course, everything will be shown in a separate decorations video if you're interested to see how this came to be. But this is the end result, and they finally have a real house to live in. Ricky is still talking to Jessica on the phone and he is about to become best friends with her. He had to call her to tell her about something that just happened. So let's jump back in time for about half an hour what happened before, because during the decorating process I looked out the window and I was just in time to see this. So I checked what they were doing, grabbed my camera, pressed play and was just in time to catch this for the video. So yeah, that just happened. And I really couldn't be more excited that this finally did happen, because they spent almost the entire fall festival together and they've been nothing more than just really good friends. And I've always thought it would be really cool if they got together, and they finally did. So yeah, that happened. Of course, Ricky had to call Jessica to tell her all about it, and also about his father's engagement and their wedding and everything that is going to change in their household. For some reason, Jessica seems to be the only person in town that Ricky can really talk to, and that's why he is telling her everything that is on his mind. And yeah, they have an interesting relationship, I think. She is not that much older than him, and they just became best friends. She was 26 when she moved in, and Ricky was 15. So they're 11 years apart, and of course at that age it's a big difference, but they're not that far apart. And somehow Jessica just seems to get him and everything that he is going through. So let's get back to Lorraine. She just got home from her wedding dress shopping, and Jason and Ricky just became best friends too. That's really cool. His new wish is to have 5 best friends. So yeah. Oh, that's really cute. So they have time to all have dinner together, a quick bite to eat. And in the background you can see that Valentina and Stanley are flirting again. So yeah, Valentina keeps trying to talk to or admire or even flirt with Stanley, but he doesn't want any of it and he keeps rejecting her. So the whole time that they've been together in this house, she has been going up to him, talking to him, and he keeps rejecting her. When I created these Sims, I always thought that Stanley and Valentina would be a nice couple if, well, fate should bring them together. But Stanley clearly doesn't agree with me. Okay, but it's really time to go now, otherwise she'll be late. Let's hug Natasha, if she can get her hands off of Jason for just a minute. And then she can go to her bachelorette party. Okay, and then just end casual group. There is a reason why I organize 1 or 2 outings right before the wedding, but I'll get to that at the end of the episode with a little bit of an explanation. So we are at the local bar getting ready for the bachelorette party. We have summoned Lorraine. Daniel is going to attend the bar. We are going to make Lorraine selectable and then summon in the other guests. She's of course going to invite her best friend Natasha and both Jessica and Melissa, who they know from Simsville. And they went to college together. They were never that close in Simsville, but they became close when they all moved here. And then we are going to make all of them selectable and greet everyone so we can start an outing. The next thing we need to do, and the final thing we need to do, is of course throw the party, and I'm using a mod for that. Of course, Jessica and Melissa are still not talking to each other. Let's just hope they can at least act civilized tonight. In the meantime, the other guests are arriving at the bar because we used Daniel's bar as a location for this party. Business is going to go on as usual too during this event, so let's get this party started. And Ramon is joining. And I'm having a bit of a deja vu to a video I just watched. Okay, I forgot one thing. I forgot to actually throw the party, so we're gonna do that right now. And as I mentioned, I am using a mod to be able to organize the party like this. I will link everything below in the description if you're interested. Go check them out. First of all, I'm using the community lot party so we can throw parties on community lots. And second, I use a mod called New Parties by Simlar, which adds a variety of parties to the mix that all have some specific requirements and impact of the guests during the party. I really love this mod so far, and it has brought back some great memories I have of playing The Sims 3 back in the day, where more kinds of parties were possible, like holding a fundraiser, actually receiving money for that, for example. And now we can actually throw bachelorette parties in The Sims 2, which I think is really cool. Of course, the bachelorette party in The Sims 2 doesn't have any specific rules about what is supposed to happen during the party, so I kind of made up my own rules, and if I would be capable of actually making this into a working mod, that would be awesome, and I would. Unfortunately, I can't, so we'll just have to work with what we have now. The thing I came up with is all of the guests, including the soon-to-be bride, have to flirt with one other sim on the lot, no exceptions. Of course no good can come of that, and it will possibly even generate some new ones for extra drama. It could of course also be a more innocent flirt, exchanged without further consequences, but let's see what happens. In the case of this first party, both Natasha and Melissa are still single, so they can basically flirt with whoever they want. So let's start with Natasha. I'm going to have her flirt with Eduardo. And Jessica's a pleasure sim, so it's not too far from her character either to flirt when she goes out to a bar. If in the case of some less extroverted sims, they will simply not throw a bachelorette party and have some other simple activity with friends the evening before their wedding, where nothing exciting can happen. So that went well. She actually wants to be friends with him, so nothing really came of the flirt. But she did become friends with him. And now she wants cake. So there were probably not very many romantic feelings there. Of course, I'm secretly hoping that Natasha and Melissa will find someone that they are romantically interested in. But I'm still playing ones based, so I am not allowed to interfere in anything else than just that first flirt and maybe a chat afterwards. But if they don't roll a one to go further than that, I can't force them, which I hate sometimes. Natasha and Jessica just became best friends. That's really cool. And of course it will really help with the party and outing ratings. Okay, so next is Melissa. I think I'm going to have her flirt with Christoph. So we're going to greet Christoph. And have her flirt. That went well. And she now wants to flirt with Christoph again. Daniel should really be tending the bar. And apparently something is wrong with the chairs. Yeah, let's see if we can move that chair. For some reason I changed it, which wasn't really a good idea. Before they could perfectly sit at the bar on all chairs. Yes, that's much better. So yeah, like I said, we are using Daniel's bar as a location for this party, but of course it's also just a bar, and all of the people that live in this town are going to come here, have a drink, and Daniel is going to make money. So we are actually on his community lot on a work night. For the girls it's a bachelorette party, but for Daniel it's just another Monday night where he serves drinks and food to the customers that come to his bar. We can see here that Lorraine has been talking to Rick for a while now. Lorraine has always been very attracted to Rick, who is a romance sim, bisexual, and flirting with a lot of other sims around town. She knows she would never want something to happen between them, and he certainly isn't her type for a real relationship or even for a short fling or anything. Lorraine is someone who would rather be with someone who she can really count on, and even if she would have a crush on him because, you know, love is blind, it would still never work out because their interests are way too far apart and they would never work as a couple. And I think both she and Rick know that, and even Rick has no intentions of breaking up a sweet happy couple like Lorraine and Jason either. So in the meantime, in the background, we saw that Jessica flirted with Daniel. Melissa is upset with her sister flirting with her teenage crush, and of course this is only adding to the bad relationship they already had. After accidentally woohooing with the same guy in college, they have been fighting ever since, even though as children they were really close. So yeah, after seeing her sister do this, and with Daniel of all people, this has really brought back some bad memories about that situation for Melissa. And being the hot-headed person that she is incapable of keeping her anger in, runs up to Jessica and starts slapping her in the face, not making their relationship any better, of course. Jessica is taken by surprise by Melissa's reaction, really doesn't see what the big deal is, since she and Daniel have not been together for over 15 years. Lorraine watched the whole thing happen and asks Jessica if she can't just apologize to Melissa for everything that has happened in the past. Aside from this minor incident, they've had a really nice night together, a really fun night, and as far as Lorraine's concerned, she would really like it if on her wedding day everyone could just get along, but also she can't stand to see the two sisters fighting all the time, and she really wishes for them to have a better relationship. So by talking to Jessica, she really hopes that they can resolve their issues. And at the end of the night, after the party, when most of the visitors of the bar have gone, Jessica finally apologizes to Melissa. So yeah, they finally have a clean slate now. If we check their relationship, they don't hate each other anymore. They might still be a bit mad about everything that happened, but they are willing to set aside their differences and try to be sisters again, and try to see each other's best interest. When the bar is finally empty, Daniel serves them some homemade Italian sandwiches, his specialty, while he himself is having some late night dinner with his close friend Christoph. I'm sure the girls are discussing everything that has happened tonight, and even Lorraine's flirt with Rick. It was probably something really innocent, like commenting on his muscles looking good after working in Roland's garden all summer. Probably something silly like that. She didn't roll any ones to continue her flirting with Rick, so now we know that she's definitely chosen to stay faithful to Jason. The other girls, on the other hand, might have set something in motion that we are going to see in their respective episodes. But for now, Lorraine is going home to Jason and ending the night in their bed together. Okay, so we arrived at the morning of the wedding at Jason and Lorraine's house, who have just spent their first night together in this house. And as they have their first morning together as a family and get ready for the wedding, we have some time to look at their personalities, because I've added in the traits. It is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I didn't want to go overboard by giving every sim 6 or 7 traits. I would have so much more stuff to track in my Excel sheets, and I have enough of that already. But also it would kind of lose its purpose, I think, or at least the way I look at it. So what I did was I gave every sim 2 traits. I wanted it to really represent something that adds something to their character, something that isn't already visible in their character profile and stuff. So what I did was it either has to add something to their personality or show a deeper layer of some kind, so we get to understand the person a little bit better, or what's behind what their intentions are, or maybe a little bit of background story, or it has to really define them. So for example, Lorraine has 10 points in nice, and I think it's kind of redundant to then give her the friendly trait or the good trait. So what I did was I gave her the social butterfly, because she's not only nice, she also has a role in the community where she frequently talks to everyone and really plays an essential role in the community. She's maybe even the heart of the community, working at the community center, keeping up all of the relationships with the other people in town, listening to their stories, their problems, helping them out, or just lending an ear, you know. So yeah, I gave her a social butterfly trait. and I gave her the discipline trait because I think that Lorraine is someone that is just very well organized and put together. She has a well worked out schedule for the day, makes plans, executes on them, and having a very well organized pantry is something that I just see her do. So that is why I added that during the decorations. The social butterfly trait doesn't really do anything at this moment, but the discipline trait does. The discipline trait makes it so that she can meditate at any moment without the requirements that the base game has for that. So she can now just meditate because she's disciplined. I really like that. I think it would be a perfect addition to her morning routine. I have no idea if it's going to work or add something to my gameplay, but that is how I'm going to try and start to use the traits. In one of the next episodes I will go into more depth about who I am giving which trait and why, but first it is time to start focusing on this wedding. And apparently Jason didn't have a suit yet, so I am buying that right now. So yeah, I'm using Gassiab for this because I want them to have at least an outfit for every occasion. And you can go and get some leftovers, and then you can actually throw the wedding party. Wedding party, here we go. So Lorraine is cleaning up. I don't think that is what you should be doing on your wedding day. So please come downstairs, and she can just change into her formal wear because I think... No, I didn't plan that one yet. Okay, so we're gonna plan formal. Yeah, that's her church outfit. And she is gonna dress in her wedding dress. Now, I know you're not supposed to see each other on the wedding day, but I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, okay, let's do that. She can just go into the bedroom after he invited the guests. We're going to invite Stanley, Valentina, Lizzie, of course, Jonathan, Rick, but Rick probably won't come if Jason invites him, Rocco, Christoph, and Natasha, of course, Daniel, Gordon, and I think we're at the max. Yeah, so anyone that doesn't show up, Jessica and Melissa are of course also invited, so anyone that doesn't show up, we're just going to teleport in, or Lorraine is going to invite them. It was around this point that I realized that because I had a major glitch with the shower in the morning, and I mean the sim shower, not my shower, I was so distracted by that I totally didn't realize that Ricky wasn't on the lot anymore because he had gone to school. So I had to start the entire day over, and we're just gonna skip to the second try. So there's a slight difference in time, but at least Ricky is here, so that's cool. The guests have arrived and I've sent them straight to their chairs, and Ricky is going to ask out Lizzie on a date because he doesn't have the one right now, but he did have it yesterday, and I was just a little bit too late to lock it in. So yeah, you can go here. The only one not having a seat is Stanley. So we need 2 more chairs. I think I had 2 in Natasha's inventory. Let's just put those out. Let's see if this works. And we are going to... No, let's leave her selectables. She can help organize things. She is the wedding planner. The wedding planner anyway. So let's just get married. There we have Lorraine walking down the aisle through the bushes, through the chairs, but there she is. Ricky, pay attention. Your father is getting married. Perfect. And now that they're married, it's time to get the party started. I think we are just going to let them cut the cake. Lorraine is apparently calling Linda. I'm not sure why. Don't do that. And we are going to invite everyone to have cake. So yeah, like I said, it's just going to be a small party at their own home, not at a wedding venue or at the church or anything. Just Natasha baked the cakes and the drinks, and she actually asked Daniel to bring some music. So it's just a close group of friends celebrating this special day. So now that everyone has had their cake, it is time to make a toast to the newlyweds and then turn on the music and have a party. So we've kept Natasha selectable because she is the wedding planner and she organized most of the entire party. But she's also Lorraine's longtime best friend, so who better than to give the wedding speech than Natasha? Ever since they were little girls, they were neighbors and best friends. They really grew up together and have always been really close. Both their parents were way too distracted with their jobs and issues with each other to have enough attention for their little girls, actually. So yeah, they've always been really close. They formed a group with the neighboring girls in that town, in that subhood actually. And they spent most of their teenage years doing yoga and just hanging out together. They later all went to college together, and that is where she also met Jonathan and Daniel, brothers who owned a clothing store and Daniel's bar, of course, that Daniel. And the one you can see her talking to is actually Daniel before he had his makeover. And the one dancing in the background, the one with the glasses, that's Jonathan. Also, before he had his makeover. Anyway, they grew up together, they went to college together, they survived college together, and they graduated together. And then they also came to Cherryblossom Springs together. So I can only imagine all of the things that Natasha has to tell in her wedding speech. And yeah. And now we are at Lorraine's wedding. So don't mind me having a little bit of a sentimental moment right here. And Gordon is just really cracking me up there with his inappropriate and awkward dancing. I still think that dancing is so funny. So yeah, they had a great party, and I'm sure they can look back on a really lovely day. And they're just going to enjoy each other's company right now. The guests are going to go home. Daniel and Natasha are going to clean up and arrange everything so that the newlyweds don't have to do anything, and they can just enjoy each other's company. But first, I think someone has to tell Christoph and Rocco that the party is over and that they should stop dancing, leave them alone, go home. And Jason is lecturing Ricky about missing class, but of course he missed class because he went to his wedding. So maybe Jason is saying that he should have done his homework beforehand, and he's not really happy about him losing a grade, and that he should really go and do something about that before it's going to influence his college opportunities. So before we are going to end the episode with 2 new announcements about what is going to happen in the next episode and in this season, I want to share with you one more thing. And that is the Hobson household finances. So let's jump to Jason's study and see what's on the spreadsheet. So I went back and forth so many times with giving Jason a loan to be able to make his payments, and then waiting for the cash to come in when Lorraine was going to move in. So what I did was I made a budget, one that is going to describe how their funds came together when we merged their households. So as you can see at the beginning, when we moved in both Jason and Lorraine separately, they each rolled for a budget. I did that randomly with random.org. And Jason had a budget of 32,000 simoleons and had to take out a mortgage to be able to buy his house. His house cost 40,594, which left him with starting cash of 1,406. Now Lorraine had a budget of 20, which was much lower. Did not need a mortgage because her house was really cheap. Her house cost 19,600 simoleons, and she was left with 400 simoleons in cash. So that was their starting cash at the beginning of the fall season. And the starting cash to me is kind of like a budget that they would have to spend each week, and represents their wealth when I play other community lots from other households. Then their income in the first round, both calculated from their jobs or the amounts that they receive from the town hall. Then income in winter, because we skipped winter, I just calculated, it's a long story, but I calculated an income as if they had played winter. Then the town funds, every household received extra funding from the town to kind of give the houses more one look and feel by adding street lights and bushes, trees and stuff. I also used it to repair any damage that taking out the custom content caused. So yeah, and then they were left with a certain amount in cash because they also had some other expenses like groceries and some furniture that they bought and Lorraine actually brought with her. Stuff like that, and they were charged with an amount of tax to pay on the first Sunday, because every Sunday my Sims pay taxes. So yeah, we saw that Jason and Lorraine paid these amounts to Eduardo, the treasurer of the town, which means that their starting funds together would have been 2,732 simoleons. So then Lorraine's house was sold. Also, something I could probably make a separate video about, but I don't really use the amount that is actually generated. So for example, if you watch the video, you can see that she received 17,075 simoleons. That doesn't make any sense to me because that is less than her house cost when she bought it. So what I instead do to calculate the amount that she receives is I give her the amount that the next owner is going to pay. Just something to make it more interesting for me money-wise. Just thought I'd share here in this sheet. So yeah, then the design project of the study and the bedroom cost 9,000 simoleons, and then the second project of the kitchen and the living room cost 12,750 simoleons. The budget was 12,000, but they really went overboard on that one, so it cost 750 simoleons extra. Moving on to how they went from $2 to $3,682. I will show you in the next clip. If we check Jason's inventory, we can see the TV that they received from as a wedding gift from the outings. We can also see that Jason has the bookworm and night owl traits, but more about that later. So yeah, the TV, 3,500 simoleons, and they can really use it. But that's why I like organizing an outing right before a wedding. The gift that they are going to receive represents all of the wedding gifts that they received at their wedding from their guests. So that's why it's okay to me that it would be a reasonably large amount, even if there are 2 gifts. And they really need it because they have a lot of outstanding payments to make. Then we have the wedding and the wedding outfits. So I also deducted an amount for that, which leaves them with cash before the wedding. They should have had 182 simoleons if I had done everything correctly. So yeah, that's why I added the 180, because they already had 2. And then the last part is we saw that Jason just sold a TV. So the total for their wedding gifts that they received is 3,500 simoleons. Of course, there's going to be a gift for the second outing, which we haven't seen yet what it's going to be. But once they deliver that one, we can add it to the sheet and pay the rest of the amount that they owe, because they are a bit tight on cash. They really have to work and finish some more articles, go to work, because they also skipped work for one day. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pay 1,200 simoleons to Valentina, 200 to Stanley, and 1,000 to Eduardo for the mortgage interest, which leaves 2 amounts for Ricky when he goes to college on Wednesday. But we still have a little bit of time for that. So that means adding the 182 and the 3,500, they would need 2,718 simoleons extra to be able to pay all of these things. So they really do have to work on Wednesday and Thursday, which they were going to do anyway. So that's perfectly fine. And then I'm going, at the end of this round, I'm going to calculate how much money they will have on Thursday, which is the last day of this season, so I know how much taxes to calculate for them for the next Sunday. The reason for that is I take their net worth and I deduct the cash on hand, because it doesn't make any sense to me that they would have to pay taxes over the amount of cash that they hold in hand. So I'm always going to deduct that from their net worth, and the rest of the amount is used to calculate their taxes, which I will tell you all about in the episode about the town hall and the town's finances. So yeah, that's the spreadsheet for now. I'm not going to do this every time. I just did this to see what would happen if you merge 2 households together, because I really like to balance things like this, and they have to work for them to succeed, but there's at least a possibility for them to succeed. So that's why I'm trying this out. And because I did a lot of fiddling with the custom content jobs and the amount of payment that they receive for it, the times that they work, I'm really curious to see if that worked out and if the town is as balanced as I hope it will be. So yeah, in the next episode we are finally going to see the 8 new Sims that are going to come to this town. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you'll join us for the next episode. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye! And the town is not the only thing that is getting a new addition. because when I said I would give Jason and Lorraine a little bit more privacy previously this episode, I kept filming and this is what happened.